From HEB Park in South Texas, it's Rio Grande Valley. Toros FC playing host to Sacramento Republic in match day 3 in USL. Rio Grande Valley having a game postponed in midweek against Reno. Reno unable to travel to the Texas area on account of weather. Therefore, Rio Grande Valley have gone 2 weeks without playing. Sacramento, meanwhile, are off to a flying start in this USL season, beating Orange County last week to make it 6 points from 6 to start their 2018 campaign. Welcome in to our commentary booth. Chris Whittingham, George DeMattelis on the call for this one. And George, let's start first in this game with Rio Grande Valley. They draw in their opening game at home to St. Louis FC, 1-1. They get that opening goal. But 2 weeks off in the intervening period, how do you think Rio Grande Valley would have used that time in order to build up what is a very young squad?
Well, they're going to work on their fitness, that's for sure. They work on their fitness to make sure that everyone is ready to go in full fitness so that everyone can run the 90 minutes. But also, they took the time to study film on Sacramento Republic and find out what their weaknesses are so that they can get their first win of the season.
They did use that opportunity to make plenty of changes, Rio Grande Valley, 5 in particular, an entirely new front line for Jerson Echeverry's men.
Yeah, it's still early in the season, so despite the fact that you had preseason, you still have time to experiment with the attacking players going forward. So we'll see what happens there as it appears to be a situation where Rio Grande Valley is going to be fluid with their attacking line, and that could provide some depth further down the season.
And George, we had Sacramento Republic last week, just the 2 changes. They get the goal from Cameron Iwasa, but it was mainly a counter-attacking performance from Sacramento away from home in Orange County last week. You think maybe they can build out their play a little bit? As you take a look at their lineup, 2 changes into the team with Adam Moffat in for Jeremy Hall. Luis Espino will lead the line in for Christian Isley.
Yeah, look out for Bijev on the left side and Aleman on the right side. Those 2 perform very well on the wings. But for Simon Elliott, you're starting to see that he is understanding what may be his best 11. Still experimenting. You mentioned the 2 changes, but on the road against Rio Grande Valley, expect them to play back, sit back defensively, and then once again try to catch their opposition on the counter. That's the way to play on the road for them.
As you get a look at the scenes here at HEB Park, 5th in attendance a year ago in USL. Obviously the likes of FC Cincinnati and their opponent Sacramento Republic, but over 7,000 fans per game in the Valley. And we'll have Rio Grande Valley against Sacramento Republic next. And we're about set to get started from HEB Park in the Rio Grande Valley, Edinburgh, Texas. Just miles away from the Mexican border in South Texas. Rio Grande Valley, the USL affiliate of Houston Dynamo in MLS. As we're underway from HEB Park, Rio Grande Valley in action for the first time in 2 weeks since the opening day of the season. About 15 days ago on a Friday night, Rio Grande Valley drew 1-1 with St. Louis FC. Pablo Aguilar scoring the opening goal of the season for RGV, but off last weekend and a midweek game canceled on account of weather in the area. Reno 1868 unable to get into the area, and thus we had a canceled game as Rio Grande Valley is away here through Aldo Quintanilla, who will lead the line in for Guillermo Delgado, who is out sick for this match. So Rio Grande Valley having some time to very much get ready for this one, work on their style of play, which of course is very important under new manager Jerson Echeverri. Meanwhile, for Sacramento Republic, a 1-0 win away from home in Orange County last week. Cameron Iwasa scoring what ended up being the fans' choice goal of the week. A fantastic turn that we saw George and smacking into that top corner for the 1-0 away victory. Something against the run of play. Sacramento is a team that can sit back and defend and soak up pressure and then hit on the counter. We saw that more than a few times with Iwasa last week.
Yeah, Iwasa was very important, obviously for the goal, but the way he was able to distribute on those counterattacks. But also I was impressed with Viljan Bijev out wide on the left and wearing the number 20 shirt. He was impressive in terms of taking on players one-on-one in individual attacking situations. So if he can continue to do that, be effective, that will bode well for Sacramento Republic.
As you get a look at the RGV manager, Jerson Echeverri, in his first year, comes over from Seton Hall, where he coached college soccer for 5 years. Mitchell Tainer on the ball. He'll pair alongside Cole Seiler in the back. Here's Aleman. As one change from a week ago, Shannon Gomez playing left back this week with Hayden Partain moving to the right. A little bit of a tactical change, if not a lineup one. So that makes up the back four. In goal for this one is Josh Cohen.
Well, what we saw from Sacramento Republic, you're talking about switching. We saw Partain was the one that was more aggressive, more apt to push forward, more skillful going forward, and then Shannon Gomez would drop back and be a third defender when Sacramento had possession. So putting him on the right side, Partain, you suspect that a lot of the movement or the better attacking play from Sacramento will come down the right side. We'll see how that progresses.
Jorginho James into midfield, one of 5 changes for Jerson Echeverri's men. Kind of fill out the rest of the lineup. We'll start first with Sacramento Republic. At midfield, 2 of Adam Moffat and Jaime Villarreal. Cameron Iwasa in front of them. On the left will mostly be Viljan Bijev. He'll kind of partner in behind Luis Espino. Does look like more of a false 9 kind of look so far, with Bijev on the middle, in behind Cameron Iwasa, who will kind of lead the line. And then on the right is Kevin Aleman, the Costa Rican, with who we can best describe as a cultured left boot. There's Omar Ontiveros into the team. He'll partner alongside Connor Donovan as the ball is sprayed out to this left-hand side. Cohen was thinking about it and finally decides to let it run and boot it out in the end. And Victor Garza put in the pressure on.
Yeah, so last week Cohen had some issues coming out.
Here's Luis Espino. The sliding challenge comes in from Kai Green, and the ball deflects off of the white and gray shirt. Now for the RGV throw. Yeah,
what we're seeing is, as you mentioned it, Chris, you have Cameron Iwasa, Bijev pushing up, and then Espino's dropping deeper on the kind of the left winger, if you will, for Sacramento. So no false. It is a false 9. Remember, Christian, Isley was the starter up top last week. Didn't quite work out for him. So going with a more mobile, better possessing squad with Espino and then Iwasa and Bijev up top.
There's Cole Seiler. Tries to send the ball long to the run of Espino, but out of play. And for Nico Corti to play from his own 6-yard area.
You figure with the way Iwasa finished last week, give him a chance to be the center forward, but also because of his pace, can drop back a little deeper That could send Bija forward. That could send Espino forward as well. So it's a flexible system with Iwasa as the center forward.
Kai Green's going to send it along for John Montano to chase. Smacked into the air. Montano going to try and track off the bounce. Gomez will as well. And it came off that orange shirt last, out for yet another goal kick. In terms of the Rio Grande Valley side, Nico Corti in goal, the Belgium native. First year as a pro out of Stanford. Back four of Kai Green at right back. Connor Donovan next to him. Omar Ontiveros, one of the 5 changes, with Derek Luke at left back. The captain will also play in holding midfield. That's Todd Wharton. In front of him, Jorginho James, the Jamaican, making his first start. Matias Zaldivar, the Argentinian. On the right is John Montano. Up front is Aldo Quintanillo, and on the left is Victor Garza, who represents the oldest player on this team, age 26. As charging forward is Partain. He'll try and whip the cross in towards that back post. Corti had to make sure it wasn't heading for his goal. The cross was wayward.
At 26 years old, the oldest player on the team. I think when you're under 30 and you are the player with the highest age on the team, we can't use the word old. We have to use like highest age.
Most experience.
Most experience, yes. Been away from home the longest, something like that. But that's a good sign for, obviously for Rio Grande Valley, that they have such a young squad.
His ball's going to be sent over the top towards Quintanilla. He's heading into the penalty area and shouldered off of it very well by Mitchell Tainer.
And Tainer did a great job there. Quintanilla was trying to get his body in between Tainer and the ball after he was able to get in behind the defense. And Tainer takes the right angle, uses his body to push Quintanilla off the ball, and did a great job of regaining possession for Sacramento and preventing a goal-scoring opportunity. That's defending right there. It's the subtle things like that that make a good defender and also keep clean sheets.
You should say that it's not like Sacramento Republic are a team laced with veterans either. Only one player over the age of 25, and that's Adam Moffat in midfield, age 31. You see that plenty in USL. Young players looking for professional experience to try and either make that step up or make a living playing soccer.
Yeah, Moffat with the experience came on second half sub last week, and they looked considerably better with Moffat in the lineup as someone who can hold possession, win the ball back.
Nicely done by Matias Zaldivar, but Montano wanted advantage played. In the end, it will be a free kick after the challenge on the Argentinian.
And that's what Moffat can do. That was Seiler with the foul, but Moffat, a player that can track back, do the work defensively. We see Seiler doing a good job. He committed the foul that allowed his team to reorganize, so it was a smart foul there by Cole Seiler.
Jorginho James will play it out wide for Kai Green. One of the few returning players into this Rio Grande Valley side, as the ball from Zaldivar was poor, and Todd Wharton marshalling it out of play.
And we're on the left side of the Sacramento attack. Mentioned Shannon Gomez is not going to push forward that much, so that's where Luis Espino comes in to be that attacking player to balance out the pitch for Sacramento, because between Kevin Aleman did a good job last week against Orange County on the right side, so you need that width. Not going to get it from the left back, so get it from your left winger, and Luis Espino is going to be that man.
From a tactical point of view, almost looks like a 4-2-4 for Sacramento.
Yep. With
no real out-and-out number 9. You see Iwasa was kind of the target man there, but not able to win that in the air as a free kick is given here to RGV.
And so it could, I like to call it the 4-2-4. Also, I call it the Brasileirão 4-2-2-2 because you have Villarreal and Moffat, and then you have Espino and Aleman, and then Bijav and Iwasa.
Well taken by the Colombian Montano. Pressure coming from Garza. And stepping up there to win it is Derek Luke. Can he find the right cross? And it's sent in towards Montano. Tainer winning in the air. Taken down here on the edge of the area by Zaldivar. And cleared in the end by Cohen. RGV very much finding the attacking impetus to start this first half. Here's Jorginho James just having difficulty sorting out his touch. It is still on, though, for Victor Garza, who hit the cross first time in the direction of Quintanilla. It'll take a bounce on the way through, and Gomez just marshalling it out.
Yep, some sloppy passing out of the back from Sacramento. Rio Grande Valley able to take advantage of it by going wide. We're seeing that Zaldivar is getting some touches, playing out wide on the left in that 4-3-3 with Quintanilla and Montaño. But so far, so good for Rio Grande Valley in terms of the positive football going forward.
A couple of solid headers there as Quintanilla will take it on the run. Here's Garza. Victor Garza. Lovely bit of skill there to take him towards the byline. Hayden Painter, though, very much putting in a shift from a defensive point of view. It'll be a throw-in for the men in orange. Right-footed cross attempted, but off the Republic defender. And now here's Bijev. Vilian Bijev, the Bulgarian, joined on a permanent deal after being loaned to Sacramento last season. As again, no one in particular to aim at up front. Toros FC can play. Zaldivar comes from Arsenal. No, not that Arsenal.
Sarandi.
Sarandi in Argentina.
Yep.
I have a few clubs named after clubs in Europe. There's a Barcelona in South America.
Yeah, in Ecuador, yep.
I saw today, I didn't know this, there's a Liverpool in Uruguay.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I believe there's a Everton in there's a Liverpool in, there's an Everton in Chile, I believe. And what else? There's another one. There are a couple others with European club names. You mentioned Barcelona and Guayaquil, Ecuador. I believe there's an Everton in Chile. Yep. So if Liverpool, Uruguay, and Everton, Chile play, that would be, what do you call that match? Yeah.
There's got to be some body of water we can name it after.
Yeah.
There's a good challenge in there from Jorginho James. Quintanilla lets it run on the shot. It takes a deflection on the way through. Montaño going to try and chase it, but a decent opportunity there for Rio Grande Valley.
And Rio Grande Valley finding their way into the penalty area. They've been able to break down the Sacramento defense, especially down that left side out wide with Zaldivar, Garza also on the left side as well. So they're making their way through. They've had the lion's share of the possession so far, and there hasn't been much pressing. Sacramento not putting too much pressure on the ball, kind of a bend don't break philosophy right now.
Here's Garza taken down. Play on, says the referee, working around the defenders well. Zaldivar, here's Zaldivar. I think was trying to play it for Montaño, but comes off a Seiler on the way through. It'll be a corner for Toros FC.
Oh, and Quintanilla was wide open around the penalty spot. He had his hands down, begging for the ball, begging for it. If he was able to connect, if Zaldivar was able to get him the ball, he'd had time to turn, decide what foot he wanted to take the shot with, and pick out where he wanted to go on frame, but he was just not given the service.
Let's get a look at the Sacramento Republic manager, Simon Elliott. 2 wins from 2 to start his tenure. As the corner is swung in, Quintanilla got something on it. Actually, rather, I believe it was Connor Donovan, one of the center backs who had come forward.
Yeah, he basically posted up his marker, to borrow a basketball term. He posted up his marker with his back toward goal at that near post, tried to flick on header, and it almost worked.
Dangerous ball as Donovan is forced to just boot it as far forward as he can as Espino was putting him under pressure. Loose ball there from Donovan's center back partner Ontiveros.
You can see what happens when Sacramento puts some pressure, when they press a little bit on that back line of Grand Valley, they turn the ball over.
Ball one there by Matias Zaldivar. The Argentinian on the turn, but dispossessed very neatly there by Aleman. Seiler will send it clear.
Yeah, Matias Zaldivar, so far in this match, he has been the most dangerous player for Rio Grande Valley so far down the left side. He's been able to split a couple of Sacramento defenders, get into the penalty area. It's just his decision-making in that final third has to be a little bit better, but it's something positive for Rio Grande Valley.
Tainter a bit too high for Bijev, and it'll be out for Rio Grande Valley throw. Rio Grande Valley, one of the USL affiliates, the affiliate of Houston Dynamo. They call themselves a hybrid affiliate, with Houston Dynamo providing the technical side and a company called Lone Star LLC, who operate all of the minor league sports in the Valley, operating the business side of things. That LLC running the minor league baseball team, the Vipers, as well as the NBA G League team in the Valley. So kind of have their feet in the minor league sports game, and you can tell by this palace they built here for Toros FC that they're well committed to making this work. Got over 7,000 fans per game a year ago, 5th in the league in attendance. They'll try and do the same again this year. We'll certainly need a bit of a bounce back from a performance point of view. Came into the league very well under Wilma Cabrera, now the Houston Dynamo manager. Second in the Western Conference, lost to Oklahoma City Energy in the playoffs, but dropped to 11th last year. Now, some of that is because of the promotion into the first team into Houston Dynamo, but we'll need to kind of find a more clear view of their style of play, which is why they turned to Jerson Echeverry.
Yep, looks like they're playing a 4-3-3. They want to dominate the possession. But in terms of the facility, this is a beautiful facility, HEB Park. And the way it's set up, especially with the suites, that we saw some of the renderings, the drawings, the pictures of the stadium, and the suites are on ground level, which kind of reminds me a little bit. My favorite team in Brazil is Santos. They play at the Vila Belmiro, and they have a similar setup like that. So it's a unique stadium, but it's a beautiful complex, HEB Park.
Yeah, you kind of see that more and more in the newer soccer-specific stadiums where you put the suites at field level, so kind of get the best view. I saw DC United is doing that with their new building. San Jose has done that with their new building. As our referee, Marco Antonio Vega, has allowed multiple challenges to play on. As Aleman will ping the pass out wide here to Luis Espino. Here is the Mexican, just 20 years of age. Couple of step overs. He'll leave it for his left back, Shannon Gomez. Trying to whip the ball in, but it's to no one in particular. It'll be out for the goal kick.
That's why Shannon Gomez doesn't get too involved in the attack. I think he was thinking that maybe Partain would be going up that right side, or Aleman would be going up that far right side. Got to get your head up, look, and make sure first. He had some space to dribble into, but decided to send in the service. Didn't quite work. Lost opportunity for Sacramento.
We are in the midst of the biggest match day of games in the history of USL. 32 of the 33 league teams in action today.
Wow.
So this is one of 16 matches. In terms of matches in the Western Conference, Real Monarchs beating Portland Timbers 2 by 4 goals to 2. The team that Sacramento Republic beat last week, getting their first victory of the campaign, Orange County SC winning by 5 goals to 0 away from home in Tulsa. Tulsa, though, having 2 men sent off in the process. Thomas Enevoldsen with a hat trick, putting himself in positioning for Player of the Week.
And Orange County was shut out by this team last week. Just goes to show what happens week to week. You get shut out one week, you score 5 the next week. That's a great way to bounce back for Orange County.
Orange County, though, did put in a pretty decent performance at home, though, last week against Sacramento Republic. But it's the number of points you get at the end of the game that matters. And Sacramento has 6 from 6 to start this campaign. Of course, made the playoffs every year in their existence as a throw-in is given against Sacramento.
Espino had a tough task there. He went to the corner, and then there was Jorginho James, as well as Kai Green. Would have been tough. They pinned him in the corner, and that's good defending right there. Pinning him into the corner, but also not allowing him to escape and sending the cross into the area.
Other Western Conference results coming in. And some earlier kickoffs. St. Louis beating Colorado Springs by 1-0. LA Galaxy 2 0-0 draw with San Antonio. I saw that LA Galaxy 2 are playing at home today. That's quite an act to follow up.
Yeah.
You have Zlatan Ibrahimovic's debut for LA Galaxy. Scores twice.
Yeah.
Come back from 3-0 down in their first ever derby match with LAFC. You have one of the biggest stars in the global game. And then over at the track and field stadium at StubHub, on the sort of grounds at StubHub Center, you got LA Galaxy 2 taking on San Antonio FC, earning the 0-0 draw, so a point for Los Dos.
Maybe that match was before El Tráfico, maybe. Yeah.
Here's Aleman on that right-hand side. It was a noon kickoff, though, in El Tráfico, so unless they're playing at 10 a.m., I don't know how much earlier you can get. But either way, it was a brilliant day for LA Galaxy. As Partain is into the area, tries to work around multiple defenders, goes down, but never going to be a penalty. We got a very good look at it from our terrific technical crew.
Yeah. No penalty there. That's the right call by the referee, Marco Antonio Vega. That was Partain just going down by himself, but you can see the difference between Partain and Shannon Gomez. Partain has the ability to dribble, maintain the ball at his feet, close to his feet, and break into that back line, disrupt the back line. Gomez hasn't quite developed that skill yet.
Good pattern of play here for Rio Grande Valley's Montaño is into the area. Here is the Colombian. He'll try the left-footed shot, and after such a good build-up, didn't even end up as a goal kick, ends up as a throw.
Yeah, it was the right idea, cutting back into his left. He wanted to curl it into that far post, in the side netting of the far post, but body position just a little bit off. Maybe he needed to take another touch just to settle himself, get his body positioning right, and put a better shot on frame. But he was able to maintain possession and get away from Shannon Gomez, using his footwork to clear off a little bit of space for him for the shot. So that's something that he can continue to exploit and use as this match goes on.
Cole Seiler. Mitchell Tainter. Coming back there is Adam Moffat, making his first start after making 2 substitute appearances. Had a positive impact when he came in a week ago. Dropping to the bench is the captain, Jeremy Hall. So Moffat will just take the armband. 31-year-old Scotsman. Long time in MLS with Columbus, Houston, FC Dallas, Seattle Sounders, Portland Timbers. 136 MLS appearances in total. Now applying it straight here in USL. Here's Shannon Gomez. Moffat tries to send the ball for Espino. Cut out by Kai Green. Here's Espino again.
Yeah, see Rio Grande Valley now pressing a little bit higher, trying to put some pressure on that back line. Sacramento having a hard time just getting out of the midfield. Finally get a long ball for Aleman, but pressing a little bit higher now was Rio Grande Valley.
Well, one there by Kai Green. Both of these teams making wholesale changes in the offseason in terms of their roster construction. Sacramento's, for both of these teams, having just a handful of players. At one point in the offseason, Rio Grande Valley had 0 players signed. So having to piece together the roster, a lot of college products, a lot of ex-MLS Super Draft picks as Montaño goes down. Did eventually, in the end, bring back 6 players from their team a year ago. Only 2 of them started opening day, they being Kai Green and Todd Wharton. So
Rio Grande Valley, what they did in terms of winning back the possession, they pressed that midfield, they pressed that back line, and we saw that Sacramento had to play the ball wide, but long passes out wide, and they're just not that accurate. They were able to hold them off there.
As Luke will swing in the free kick, it's catching practice for Josh Cohen.
Josh Cohen had a couple of adventures last week in the game we did against Orange County.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, coming off the line a couple times, but he eventually settled. Did what good goalkeepers do, which is stay in the area and just make sure if the ball comes back to them, boot it out of the park. Don't get too Manuel Neuer-ish. And he was able to get a clean sheet last week against Orange County on the road.
This free kick is given there, very much kind of a bailout call there, as Bijev will take it quickly, and in doing so, allowed his runner to drift offside. Not what they were hoping for there, Aleman and Bijev.
Yep, got a little too anxious. I think Bijev saw that there was space in and behind that back line, so he wanted to play quickly to Aleman, but it was offsides. We're seeing Bijev now, you see, just paired up top with Iwasa, much different from what he was doing last week. He's much more effective out wide on the left as a left winger. He had more space to take on players one-on-one. He was able to get around the opposing right back. Wonder if Simon Elliott will make that switch maybe in the second half. Still early in the season, so you can experiment a little bit with players in certain positions.
Sacramento Republic, only one of a few teams still left in USL with a 100% record. In the Western Conference, Sewell Park Rangers and Real Monarchs still unbeaten in the East. It's just down to Louisville City and FC Cincinnati, who are on their way to sealing up a 1-0 victory over Indy 11 as a challenge comes in from Gomez. Took a bit of the dirt to dispossess Montaño and eventually giving away possession. You can see, though, it was awkward there. You can just tell by the divot that it kicked up. That it seems like he got stuck in a little bit.
Yeah, and it's affected the lower left part of his back. And those kind of, you mentioned the divot coming up, the ground not giving way can be kind of very jarring to the body there. So hopefully Gomez is okay.
We'll take a look here at the challenge. And you can see there just kind of slipping and giving out a little bit. Did seem to get up and sprint. I wonder if it was there. No, it seemed like the pull had come earlier than that, and he was just running on adrenaline there and realized once the play had gone that my back hurts.
Your back hurts, yeah. He said, look, I got to make sure this Montaño doesn't get the ball in the penalty area here. So he got up, hustled, made another sliding challenge to clear the ball away, and then I think that's when he realized, oh, this is a lot more painful than I had thought. But that's what defenders do. They give up their bodies to prevent goals. So you have to give Shannon Gomez a lot of credit.
The magic spray is out.
Yes. I always wondered what's in the magic spray.
I've been to a few soccer-themed merchandising places like your Soccer Locker or one of that, and I've seen the magic spray. I believe it's kind of like a coolant. It's almost like a numbing agent.
Okay.
You know, it's like a very cold air comes out, and that's kind of what it's meant to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like really cold air.
Really cold air. Okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was that some of the substance from the Sorcerer's Stone, but I'm sorry. I watched the Harry Potter collection yesterday. My bad. Yeah.
You're right, or as our producer points out, it could just be the magic stuff from Space Jam. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
It's called the magic stuff.
Michael's magic stuff.
Kai Green will take the throw in. Jorginho James. Here's Botaño, the Colombian, ex of América de Cali.
Oh, Red Devils, América de Cali. Diablos Rojos.
In the U20 squad a year ago. Came off the bench to provide the service for RGV's opening goal a week ago. That was turned in by Pablo Aguilar. First time ball is played over the top in the direction of Quintanilla. Here is the Mexican on the turn, trying to work his way around the defender. Eventually goes down the edge of the area, and the free kick is given. Cole Seiler, the culprit. That'll be a free kick just outside of the area for Rio Grande Valley FC.
And it looks like Seiler's frustrated at Partain. It's the second time on that far left side of the Rio Grande Valley attack, the right side of the Sacramento defense, where a player has been able to split two defenders and get into the area. And Seiler actually gets a touch on it, but then Quintanilla bursts through.
I think it was that shove in the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's exactly what it was.
That earns the free kick.
But Seiler's had to bail Partain out a couple of times over there.
And it's taken low, and through the massive bodies, William Bijev able to get enough purchase on it to clear. Here's Derek Luke. The captain, Todd Warden, as a sliding challenge comes in from the Bulgarian advantage played. As Kai Green will play it into the channel, we'll see if a yellow comes at the conclusion of this bit of play, as it does come off of Botaño in the end, and the referee's whistle goes.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be a yellow card on Bijev. That was a clear yellow card. Came in late. Looked like it was two-footed as well. Referee did the smart thing and let the play go, play the advantage, and then hand the yellow card. It's got to be a yellow card. That was a clear yellow card foul by William Bijev. Yeah, he has no reason to complain. That was easily a yellow card. No reason to complain for Bijev.
So it is indeed Bijev into the book. Well done, though, to let play go on as that aerial challenge there between Bijev and Kai Green results in a free kick for Sacramento.
Well, I like what the referee is doing. He's seeing fouls, and then...
Oh, that's obvious.
Yeah, it's very clear right there. And it was right in front of the referee also. But the referee, on a number of occasions, he sees the foul, and he lets the play resume. You don't want to interrupt the flow of the game every 2 seconds when there's a foul. As long as it's not something so egregious, obviously red card level foul, but there's a foul or a shove, unless it's obviously a set piece or in and around the penalty area, let the play go, and then you can always call the foul or have the yellow card issued when there's a stoppage. So I like the fact that the referee is letting play resume, letting the game flow, and not interrupting the rhythm.
Nice ball sprayed out to this left-hand side for Derek Luke to continue on his way. He is on set-piece duty, so he does have the left boot to swing the crosses in, but Bijev playing out for the throw.
Every time Derek Luke touched the ball, I keep thinking of, I have to remind myself, not the actor Derek Luke, not Antoine Fisher Derek Luke, but...
His opportunity is on here for Garza. It's played in, the shot is in, it's off the bar! It was Wharton, the captain, on the edge of the area, kind of awkwardly getting something on it, but enough to rattle the woodwork.
It definitely was not the cleanest of strikes, but it almost went over the line into the back of the net. First of all, hard work here by Victor Garza to get into that space, and then just last-ditch effort to get it to Wharton. And Wharton, maybe not expecting it, so his footwork wasn't the best, but he still did enough to get it toward frame and make Josh Cohen very nervous. It's a great shot and a great attempt there by the captain, Todd Wharton.
Right, it was a very awkward body position, and yet still very well struck.
Yeah. You get the feeling that if he had some more solid footwork, he might have been able to score there, because he was unmarked at the top of the area.
Zaldivar, Montaño. Decent run of possession here for Rio Grande Valley. Good ball into the channel. Quintanilla springing out wide for Zaldivar. Good bit of play. The cross will be swung in. Well over the head of Victor Garza, who was arriving on that back post.
Yep, it was good movement until the service, till the attempted cross. I was looking at Montaño, and when he floated into the penalty area, the number 12 for Rio Grande Valley, he basically marked himself out of the play. Now, obviously, the cross sent in was no one could get to it, but Montaño basically put himself in between two defenders instead of trying to carve out a little bit of position at the near post in front of the defenders. He floated into the middle, and that would have made it harder for the service to get in and to connect with him. So even though the service wasn't going to be touched by anyone, he's got to do a better job of positioning himself, making himself a better target in the area.
Aleman trying to play it through there, but cut out before it got to Villarreal. Here's the ball for Garza to chase. Can he take it? Oh, he tried to head it down, but it just took a bounce too high. Played out by Partain. Now Villarreal under pressure. Nice step there to win the ball by Wharton, but it was a foul challenge in the judgment of our referee.
Yeah, and
whistle came a bit late too.
Yeah, the whistle was definitely late, but you know what? Moffitt put Villarreal in a bad spot there. It was not a good pass by Moffitt. Villarreal had to wait on the ball and then also put his body in between the ball and the defender. So luckily for him, there was a foul, but it wasn't the best pass by Moffitt. Moffitt has to do a better job of setting up his teammate there.
Donovan heading but to the feet of Espino. Now Sacramento can try and play. Not too many runs of possession in the attacking end for Sacramento Republic. As another yellow is going to come out here. This time it's Cameron Iwasa into the book. Straight away, Marco Antonio Vega pulling out his yellow for a second Sacramento booking. That was another heavy challenge.
Yeah, Iwasa completely unnecessary on Wharton. Iwasa's
Who's taking the brunt of both of the yellow card challenges.
Yeah, for sure. Wharton putting in that work. Sometimes putting in the hard work in that holding midfield is not just defending, but taking those shots so that other players get yellow cards and make their life a little bit tougher there. I don't know if that's a yellow card, though. Oof. Looked like both players going for the ball. But Marco Vega was very decisive. And that's what you want your referees to be, decisive. At least if it's a bad call, it's a bad call, but make it quick, make a decisive choice, and then get the play going as quickly as possible.
Connor Donovan trying to send it up, but Bijev got in the way. Now he'll try and play the bounce. Here's the Bulgarian. Kai Green wins it off of him. One of the better 1v1 defenders in USL a year ago. Continues that dominant run on that right-hand side. He's one of two starters on opening day who were in last year's team. As here's Zaldivar. And Garza. Jorginho James. Kai Green. Jersey City, New Jersey native, both fullbacks coming from New Jersey. As Green tried to carry on his way, but dispossessed there by Espino. Here's Moffat. Gonna play the 1-2 with Aleman. Has the run of Bijev wide open if he had just seen it. Iwasa, here's Aleman again, taking on the defender, Aleman!
Woo.
Just wide of Nico Corti's goal.
And that was well done by Aleman to pick up the ball in the midfield. Bijev, you mentioned, was open on the left. Also, there was room out wide on the right. Derek Luke had pinched in to the middle, leaving a lot of space out wide on the right. That would have been perfect time for someone like Hayden Partain, who's the right back in that area, to get up in the attack, fill in that space, and exploit it and see what would have happened if they were able to get that ball out wide. But Derek Luke got bailed out a little bit because he pinched in way too far inside, leaving a lot of space out wide on the left side of Rio Grande Valley's defense.
First quality opportunity for Sacramento as James's touch is very heavy. Wharton is still going to try and win it anyway. Now Quintanilla to chase, gets the better of Gomez. Nice touch there as well. Now Zaldivar can play. Here's Botano on the turn. We'll clip it towards Quintanilla off the chest. Quintanilla tried to leave it for Zaldivar, but it's a bit awkward. Opportunity still on through James. And Derek Luke. Try the cross with the right foot. Taken down by Botano. Decent touches by Quintanilla. He just can't get the shot off. At least can't direct it on the target.
Well done by Mitchell Tainer. First of all, he didn't commit a foul, which obviously would have led to a penalty, so he did a good job there, but didn't allow Quintanilla to turn and was right on top of him, shutting down any little space that Quintanilla could have snuck that shot off. So well done by Mitchell Tainer. But at the same time, the fact that Quintanilla was able to get a chest onto the ball when there are 4 defenders in the area is surprising. For Rio Grande Valley to have numbers, to be outnumbered in the area and still get possession and still get a shot off, that has to be worrisome for Simon Elliott in Sacramento Republic.
There's a man down in the center of the park. A little bit of a cramp.
Looks like Jaime Villarreal is the one on the ground. Villarreal he's had to do a lot of defending in this game. He hasn't been able to push up in the attack, kind of provide a little bit of depth, deep lying playmaker, if you will. I think that's his role for Sacramento. Hasn't been able to do that in this match so far. It's been tough for both teams, but especially for Rio Grande Valley to build anything through the middle. They haven't been able to be consistent up the middle. They've had to do most of their damage out wide on the left.
It is indeed Jaime Villarreal, the former LA Galaxy man. grabbing at his hamstring a little bit.
Yeah, the thigh injuries, the hamstring, those are the most common injuries in I call it football, soccer. It's so much running and changing of direction, sliding in and out. It's very tough.
We are getting to the portion of the year where it does get rather hot in the valley.
Yeah. Not just hydration before the game, it's hydration a day before the game that helps prevent some of these cramps and injuries, especially in the hamstring area.
Josh Cohen will send it long. We'll see how much will be added on at the end of this first half as Iwasa tries to take it off the chest. Awkwardly away by Donovan. Only as far as Adam Moffat, a solid step forward. Bijev poking it around the defender to win it. Sliding challenges coming together. And it's just a throw-in. You see there Aldo Quintanilla coming back to do some defensive work as Villarreal gets stretched in the technical area. See if he is able to come on after being stretched. Sacramento temporarily down to 10.
You saw Bijev with another sliding tackle. He's lucky. He already has the yellow card. The last thing Sacramento need is to go down a man on the road.
Here's Aleman as Bijev on the edge of the area. Elects to cut back. We have actually had a change in the middle of that. Jeremy Hall has come on, so Villarreal's day is done. That was Hall in the center of the park there, taking up the position he took last week. Had his position taken by the incoming Adam Moffat. So it is Jeremy Hall, the Tampa native, 28 years of age, into the team, alongside Adam Moffat as the ball is played out wide. Sliding challenge comes in from Luke, and it was actually Moffat over there playing the ball for Sacramento Republic.
You mentioned it, Chris. Bijev unmarked the top of the penalty area, and Aleman basically dribbled into three people and completely killed any chances for Sacramento to get a good shot on frame. That's what determines the champions.
As Espino was offside.
But the best teams, especially the best attacking teams, the highest goal-scoring teams, they make the right decisions and the right passes in that final third, in and around the penalty area. That's, if it comes back to haunt them, that could be a killer for Sacramento.
Could have been a giveaway, but nicely done by Kai Green to play the ball off of Nico Corti's pass. Here's Quintanilla, who's drifted into a number of areas to play the ball. They're taken off of it by Shannon Gomez.
It's great defending by Shannon Gomez.
Oh, the heavy challenge coming in there from Ontiveros, and straight away a yellow. So the third booking of this first half. This time it's the 22-year-old Omar Ontiveros. Back for his second season with RGV, made just 3 appearances a year ago. Signed after an open tryout.
Yeah, that was unnecessary, but Ontiveros, he had players around him. He attacks Bijev there. Jorginho James was there close by. Just bolted out of position.
He's doing well to win the ball is the man who was just booked, Omar Ontiveros.
And when Jorginho James is that close, Ontiveros doesn't need to rush up and attack because he leaves a hole in the back. And that could have been quick pass, right decision, and next thing you know, that hole is exploited, and then a player's one-on-one against Corti.
Here's Botaño. He's trying to find the angled run of Quintanilla, instead just trying to carry on playing. Here's the Colombian, able to win it off the second ball, but well done by Bijev to win it for Sacramento with just over a minute to play here in the opening 45 minutes. Mitchell Tainter was in the USL Team of the Week last week after his performance in Orange County. Bijev out wide for Aleman. Here's the Costa Rican. So good on that left foot. Just about finding the right option. Tries to clip the ball over the top towards Iwasa, but cut out there by Connor Donovan. James under pressure, dispossessed. Here's Moffat. He'll try the long distance effort. Ooh. Nico Corti saw it late. Went to parry aside for the corner.
Yeah, it's well done by Nico Corti because that ball also was bouncing. It can take the tricky bounces on this turf. And he did well enough to cover it, get down low, cover that post, and make the save. So well done by Corti, especially when you consider it was a low shot, the tricky bounce on this surface.
We'll have a minimum of 2 minutes to be added on at the end of this first half as Sacramento Republic will take the corner. The Aleman will play it long towards that back post. It was actually Tainer who got something on it, did well to keep it in play, but Nico Corti able to catch and wanted to spring the counter, but it just wasn't on.
And it would have been difficult for Rio Grande Valley to spring the counter because they had 6 men in the area in the penalty box defending. Just didn't have enough bodies to break out with multiple players to really test Sacramento. They would have been outnumbered. And they tried to break out. Sacramento only had 3 players in the area.
So Tiveros gives away. Here's Moffitt with Aleman able to run at defenders. He'll play in the run of Iwasa! Ooh. Nearly makes it 2-2. And the left-footed strike just going over the bar.
Well, it's a brilliant pass through to Iwasa. And Iwasa does the right thing. He lets the ball run and doesn't get a touch onto it until he gets the shot, but just can keep it down. It's a great pass through, great slicing ball, and Iwasa just couldn't keep the shot down, but it's well done by Sacramento, and you gotta like the through ball that sends Iwasa through.
Donovan. Montaño. As Kai Green will try and send it long with about 45 seconds before the end of the minimum of 2 minutes. Here's James. It does seem like RGV is trying to play the ball into the channels, but Sacramento doing well to cut off those passing lanes. Moffitt's touch. Just put in a bad position there as here's Montaño. And try and run past Gomez, able to get the nutmeg off, but Gomez able to recover. Still on though for Zaldivad. The cross is sent in by Green on the overhead. Attempted there by Quintanilla, and it's actually still in play. Quintanilla will now try and recover. Here's Wharton. James with acres of space. If he can just have a hit, he'll try with his left foot.
Oh.
Flashing across the face of goal, but wide in the end. And that is the end of the first half as the play just kind of picks up a bit towards the end of that first half. A couple of chances for either side, George.
Yeah, they wanted to get that goal right before the break. Give the other team something to think about. Jorginho James with a lot of time there, but just sends it wide. But both teams starting to get a better feel for the game, better spacing in the attack, better vision in terms of where to exploit the defense, and they were able to get good chances at the end.
Cameron Iwasa with a couple of opportunities for Sacramento. Jorginho James right there just before the half for Rio Grande Valley, but we still go to half with Rio Grande Valley 0, Sacramento Republic 0. From HEB Park, your score after 45 minutes of play, it is Rio Grande Valley FC Toros 0, Sacramento Republic FC 0. A couple of decent chances, though, George, towards the end of that first half. We should now get to our first half highlights, and the action would get started here as you have a look at the first half highlights. Matchday referee Marco Antonio Vega bringing out the matchday ball, and it was a challenge that came in there on that left-hand side on Victor Garza, but maintained by Zal Divad, whose cross was sent in, but came off a white shirt on the way through.
Yeah, we see on the left side on a number of occasions that whoever's out there has been able to beat Hayden Partain pretty regularly, and then a chance here, Montaño just didn't get his body positioned right. He tried to pick out that far post side netting with a left-footed curler, and then another opportunity here. Montaño and Shannon Gomez, they have been battling all first half on the right side of the RGV attack, the left side of the Sacramento defense, and then another opportunity here. Garza, this is probably the best chance of the match for both teams to score, as Wharton, not the best footing, but he still got a pretty good shot off.
Yeah, the first time attempt there. You have a look again on the edge of the area, rattling the woodwork in behind Josh Cohen. And he breathes a sigh of relief as see now the opportunities to start to come for Sacramento. Aleman first with the hit, his shot going wide.
Yep,
and then again here, so you have a look at the attempt from Aleman.
Yep, this was a little bit lucky for both Aleman and Iwasa when it comes to the footwork and the passing, because a couple of lucky bounces going their way, and then Moffitt, if there's time and space, go for it. He was able to get a good shot on frame.
And here would be the final chance here. Aleman playing it in for Cameron Iwasa, who I thought was going to make it 1-0 after scoring a week ago. Is the possession even for either side? Rio Grande Valley, though, I think you saw there, Sacramento had their chances sort of in that last 5 minutes, but I think it was Rio Grande Valley who had the attacking impetus in that first half. Yeah,
they looked like the more dangerous side going forward. They looked like the side that would get the goal first. Their attack would bog down in the midfield. They look stronger in terms of playing it out wide, especially on the left side, so we'll see how Sacramento adjusts to that.
Once again, your first half score is Rio Grande Valley FC 0, Sacramento Republic 0. A couple of decent chances, though, for either side. We'll take a quick break. Coming up, you hear from USL President Jake Edwards.
We're being joined today by Jake Edwards, President of the USL. Just getting ready to kick off an exciting 2018 season. Jake, thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So, Jake, the expansion this year has brought a large group of new owners to the USL to complement this already very strong base of ownership that we've seen that's really led to the success of the league. Talk about the USL ownership group and what these new folks are bringing.
Many of our owners, I'd say the vast majority of our owners now, have owned and operated sports organizations in multiple different leagues. They bring with them a real understanding of the economics of sport, what's required in terms of an investment level in the facilities, in the community, in all the different programs that our teams run. So for me, it's a privilege to get to work with all of these very experienced businessmen and women on a daily basis, and I'm just constantly thrilled by the commitment and investment they have into their local communities and ultimately into our sport. The new owners that are joining our league now are coming in every year with bigger ambitions. For us, we continue to drive value from a business point of view. The model continues to attract more and more sophisticated owners into the league, and that's something that we believe will have such a positive impact on the future of this league and the new initiatives that we want to embark upon.
Last year we surpassed 2 million in attendance. Talk about what your expectations are for this season, and in terms of attendance at live games and just overall awareness of the league.
Yeah, our fans are the lifeblood of this league, as they are for every league. We've seen the support for our clubs grow exponentially. We're already significantly ahead of where we were this time last year on average per club for season tickets. I think it speaks to the excitement. It speaks to what's happening in the local communities. It speaks to all of the things we're trying to do, building new stadiums, creating more exciting, authentic environments, attracting better players, having a more competitive and compelling league. I think it's, at least for the league office here, a substantial investment in content production and infrastructure around the broadcast, around the digital and social. And so we take great pride in growing that area of the business and engaging with the fans from a team point of view and a league point of view.
As we're back to live coverage of Rio Grande Valley FC taking on Sacramento Republic. It's 0-0 at the half. A couple of decent chances for either side. Cameron Iwasa with the best of it for Sacramento Republic with his shot just blazing over the bar. Meanwhile, for Rio Grande Valley, it was Matias Altivar and the captain, Todd Warden, with a couple of decent chances. Let's go ahead and bring you the upcoming fixtures for these sides and tell you what's going on around USL at the moment. Starting first with Rio Grande Valley, away for 3 consecutive games, including a midweek tilt at Portland Timbers 2. 3 straight away from home, including Colorado Springs Switchbacks. First next weekend away from home, and when an 8 o'clock start, then 2 more at home towards the end of the month, and with Orange County and Reno 1868 coming to town. So 3 straight away from home after Rio Grande Valley in the first month of the season did not leave their home ground on account of postponed games and a weekend off. Let's have a look here. Sacramento Republic back to Papa Murphy's Park next weekend to take on Seattle Sounders. 3 of the next 4 at the home ground at Las Vegas Lights. What is an interesting environment. 8 o'clock start times out there. Out west, some fun times to be had for these West Coast teams, George.
Yeah, lots of good times, especially when you go out to Vegas. It's always a big fun. But how will Sacramento respond? Getting 9 points on the road, that's very important. At home. You got to get all the points at home,
For sure. Sacramento taking all available 6 points to start this season. They'll try and nick a goal in the second half in order to make it another 3 away from home. It's Rio Grande Valley 0, Sacramento 0 at the half. Welcome back to HEB Park in Rio Grande Valley, South Texas. As your score at the half, it is 0-0 between these 2 Western Conference foes. Cameron Iwasa with the best chance just before halftime, but it remains 0-0 as we'll go ahead and take a look at Cameron Iwasa bearing a chance. This was last week, ended up being the fans' choice goal of the week, and George, you and I had commentary for this one. Iwasa was really powerful on the counter-attack, and you see him here turning Alex Cernali and rifling that left foot in the top corner.
What I like about this goal, Chris, is the fact that he didn't go far post with it. He saw that there was a little bit of space in the near post. Oftentimes when you see players cut in on the left, they try to bend it to the far post, but he saw that he had a little bit of space in the near post. He figured goalkeeper's going to anticipate the far post, caught him leading a little bit, and was able to use some power and great precision in order to get into the near post. So that's a great goal by Iwasa.
As you take a look at the notable fixtures next weekend, Tulsa Roughnecks, after a rough 5-0 thrashing, will have to get back at it again on Wednesday, take on Portland Timbers 2. FC Cincinnati will host Louisville City. That'll be a great game with FC Cincinnati getting off to a solid start to this campaign, winning again today in Indy 11, spoiling their home opener at Lucas Oil Stadium. Nashville SC picking up their first win of the campaign today away from home in Bethlehem. The host Charlotte Independence. And Sacramento Republic, the side we have here tonight, are home with Seattle Sounders 2. So Sacramento Republic will look to continue their winning ways at home. I see both teams coming back out onto the field. In terms of changes, we've already had one with Jaime Villarreal coming off with cramp, although at this point you can't really call it that, given that it's probably a little bit more like a hamstring injury there. You see Jeremy Hall back out on the field. He'll deputize in midfield. Also, a bit of a chippy first half, and then we had 3 bookings.
Yep, it definitely was a chippy first half. Some reckless challenges in that first half. A couple of players, there was a little bit of smack talking between a couple of players, so you like the emotion, the intensity, and the competitiveness. You just don't like to see the cards and those nasty challenges. So we will see what happens in the second half. I'm intrigued with what Sacramento can do specifically because Cameron Iwasa and Aleman, those two have worked well in the middle of the pitch. So will Aleman play more of a central role, maybe force Bijev out wide? We'll see how that plays out in the second half. As for Rio Grande Valley, I think what they have to do, they have to be better in the midfield going forward. They have to get Gata some more touches in the middle, and also Jorginho James might have to take some risk and push forward a little more as well.
Some finals from around at USL as we await the start of the second half. New York Red Bulls 2 getting a 5-2 victory at Red Bull Arena over Charleston Battery. Pair of goals from Armando Moreno, Nashville SC with the 1-0 victory. Michael Cox with the 6-minute winner over Bethlehem Steel. Louisville City winning again at home at Slugger Field over Tampa Bay Rowdies by a goal to nil. Real Monarchs with 4-2 over Portland Timbers. Kalen Ryden with a pair of goals for Real Monarchs. Orange County, a 5-0 win away from home over Tulsa Roughnecks, a hat trick from Thomas and Evolson. Richmond Kickers off to winning ways. They beat North Carolina FC at home by 2-1. St. Louis FC winning 1-0 over Colorado Springs, a 0-0 draw between LA Galaxy 2 and San Antonio. Charlotte Independence 2, Atlanta United 2-2 as FC Cincinnati win away from home 1-0. A 0-0 draw between Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Penn FC in the Pennsylvania Derby. And Phoenix Rising getting a 1-0 victory off a 92nd minute penalty over Reno 1868. As you look around the ground, still to come later tonight, Fresno will play host to OKC. Las Vegas playing host to Swope Park. As we're underway here in the second half at HEB Park. And we'll see if perhaps a goal can change this one. It was a bit of a cagey affair for the opening 40 minutes with Rio Grande Valley kind of having that attacking impetus, building the play a bit more than Sacramento were, but the chances were kind of equal, particularly the quality ones, with Wharton getting one. Quintanilla had a couple of chances as well. And then Cameron Iwasa with probably the best of the match, cleaning on goal as RGV there on the brink of giving away possession. Jorginho James able to muscle defenders off and play it for Derek Luke, who will send it forward in the direction of Victor Garza, but it'll be out to touch.
Yeah, for Sacramento, what they've done here, it looks like to me they've come out in a 4-2-3-1 with Iwasa is that false 9 in the center forward position, and then Bijev in behind Iwasa, and then Aleman on the right and Espino on the left. Then obviously double pivot of Hall and Moffitt. So a little bit of a change because Bijev was a little higher up. He was actually level with Iwasa, so we called it the 4-4-2 or 4-2-2-2. I call it the Brasileirão formation. So a little bit of a change there.
James. Wide, it was awkward there for Zaldivar as Botano will try and play the crossing, but it comes off of Gomez in the end and out for the corner.
I didn't see Kai Green too much contributing forward for Rio Grande Valley. Montano out wide on the right, basically had to do all the work on the right. That's a lot for Montano, so he's got to get some help, some overlapping runs, and an extra player in the attack, and also make that to try to disrupt the Sacramento defense.
In front of the bar, in behind that goal, the corner swung in by Derek Luke, but catching practice for Josh Cohen, and he'll use the two-handed throw to spring on Iwasa. Here's Espino, good sliding challenge in there. Won by Rio Grande Valley in the end. Trying to step in there was Boltaño. It was Zaldivar who won it on halfway. Hayden Partain switched positions ahead of this one. Played left back for the first 2 matches. Now out on this right-hand side. As the challenge is won there by Boltaño. And he thought he got a majority of the ball there, but there's a foul challenge in the judgment of Marco Antonio Vega, our match day referee. There's the Costa Rican Aleman. So comfortable drifting in off that right-hand side as Iwasa will play, but good challenge in there from Wharton, who Jerson Echeverry described on our call as his most complete midfielder. As the sliding challenge is won there by Green, the more prodigious 1v1 defenders in USL a year ago. You see the work continues there.
Yeah, Sacramento have generated very little from the left side of their attack. It's been through the middle with Aleman and Iwasa, in which those were the moments that they've looked the most dangerous. But out wide, out left with Espino, Green has basically locked it down.
Nice first time ball there by Aleman to send Partain on his way. If he can get the cross off, it's cut out there by Ontiveros, and away is Rio Grande Valley. To Garza, play to the feet of Aldo Quintanilla. He's now surrounded by 2 white and gray shirts, and Sacramento eventually winning the ball back. Here's Kevin Aleman. Well, won there by Quintanilla, but just off of him and out for the throw. Jerson Echeverry, first-year manager of Rio Grande Valley, does have connections with the Houston Dynamo manager Wilmer Cabrera. They actually played together in Colombia and then coached together at youth level in the U.S. men's national team setup. Was the under-17 assistant manager when Wilmer Cabrera was the full manager.
Some great insight on youth development.
As the ball is swung in towards Quintanilla, who goes down, and a penalty is given. Aldo Quintanilla going down in the penalty area under the duress of the challenge by Cole Seiler, who can scarcely believe Marco Antonio Vega's decision. A penalty upcoming for Rio Grande Valley.
It looks like Cole Seiler basically just shoulder checked into the back of Quintanilla. Let's take a look at it here. Oh, I don't think that's a penalty. I think it's 2 players shoulder to shoulder. But because Quintanilla was in between the ball and Seiler, the referee felt like he had to make the choice to give up the penalty. It's good positioning by Quintanilla, but I don't see the foul there. In outside the penalty area, 2 players shoulder to shoulder, I don't think it would be a foul, but it is the call. But you got to give credit to Quintanilla for his positioning there. He's the one that created the penalty opportunity.
Now Wharton with the opportunity to give Rio Grande Valley the lead. Here's the captain, sends the keeper the wrong way, and gives Rio Grande Valley the lead.
Well taken penalty kick by Todd Wharton. But all credit to Aldo Quintanilla for his positioning, getting inside of Cole Seiler. Seiler making contact with Quintanilla, and then Quintanilla obviously going down and winning the penalty kick. Sometimes it's positioning. A lot of times the way you are able to get inside a marker and position your body, that can lead to goal scoring opportunities. Well done by Wharton. Either doesn't play around, doesn't dance, just steps up 1, 2 steps, blasts it into the corner. A lot of times we see people who take penalties, just too much dancing and showboating and too much, you know, I don't even know what to describe it. Just showboating in front of it. Just step up, smash it. You don't have to do all the nice little step ups and everything.
And now Sacramento forced to respond. A goal down. Well taken penalty there by Todd Wharton, although certainly the Sacramento Republic fans would contend that it was not one the cleanest of intent. Quintanilla perhaps making a bit of a meal of that.
But
the fans here in attendance don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. And look, if the marking was better on the outside to prevent the service, the ball wouldn't have been floated into the penalty area. And if the marking was better inside the penalty area, Quintanilla wouldn't even had a chance to get to the ball. So You know, Rio Grande Valley, we're lucky.
There's a little bit of shirt pulling in the area as Aleman sends in the service. And a challenge from Moffitt in on Wharton. Going to earn RGV a free kick.
Ooh, it looked like Wharton dived a little bit there. He overplayed it there, a little too dramatic, going down to the ground. Not a card for Moffitt, but still, Wharton selling the foul there and allowing RGV to get some possession back.
As Donovan will try and send the ball into the channel. And as the offside flag goes up on Aldo Quintanilla, who won the penalty that has Rio Grande Valley in front here at home. They were 1-0 up in their opening match of the campaign a little over 2 weeks ago. But St. Louis FC would scramble one back off a corner. And Jerson Echeverry telling us in our call that just want to make sure that set-piece defending is locked down. Don't want to give away another one of those goal-mouth scrambles that results in an equalizer. I imagine, given the way this game is played out, I imagine RGV wouldn't mind going for 2.
Yep, the best way to win a match is to score as many goals as possible. I always say the best way to win a match 1-0 is to win it 2-0. Best way to win it 2-0 is to win it 3-0. So RGV, if they can get 2 more goals, obviously that will seal the 3 points for them.
Aleman, and you see there acres of space for Espino on that left-hand side. It's been a bit of a rough go from Aleman tonight in terms of spotting his options. Obviously does have plenty of skill on the ball, but just that vision required as Iwasa does find it. To Espino on that left-hand side. He'll run to the defender, Kai Green. He'll cut it towards the byline. Tries to get the cross in. It comes off of Green in the end and out for the corner.
Good defending by Green. But Aleman starting out wide on the right, but now he's pinching into the middle, playing more of that number 10 role to match the number on his back. That's allowing Partain to get up the pitch down the right side. So they're trying to add more bodies forward by having Aleman move in the middle, and then Partain basically playing the right winger. We'll see if it works out.
As Espino will send in the corner this time, well off the mark. Now Aleman going to try and chase it down. And he just about keeps it in play. Shoved down by Zaldivar, but the referee not interested, giving away a free kick. And James neatly done to maintain possession for Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah, Aleman, it's no foul call. Get up and attack. Maybe he could have pressed the ball and won the ball back in possession for Sacramento.
As Botano thinks about a shot. Interesting angle to attempt that from, and Josh Cohen had it covered.
Yeah, I think Montano realized that he didn't have anyone in the area. There were 4 Sacramento players in the penalty area. Quintanilla was lingering outside the penalty area, but it would have been very difficult to give him a good service so that he could score on goal. So he said, hey, I have the space, why not go for it? Long range, you never know. So Montano assessing his options and deciding to take the shot.
Omar Ontiveros. Well done there by Victor Garza. We mentioned earlier is the experienced hand in this RGV side. The age of 26 represents the oldest player in the team. Here's Kai Green. Played under his current manager, Jerson Echeverry, in college, Seton Hall. Now at professional level. And it's a decent ball sprayed out to this left-hand side by Jorginho James. Here's Derek Luke on this left-hand side trying to work around Partain. Did it come off of Partain last? It did, out for the corner.
Derek Luke, maybe not the cleanest of one-on-one attempts to break down Hayden Partain, but it worked in giving Rio Grande Valley a corner. And if they can get a header onto this service by Wharton, talking about 2-0 here at home, that's always a desirable position.
See a bit of wind coming in there. Representing the corner flag is Wharton with the cross in, dealt with by Bijev. Aleman on the turn as the offside flag goes up there against Ontiveros.
Ontiveros still drifting, obviously, and just didn't get back in time. He thought, and they regained possession, so he thought he could linger in the area. But you always got to assess the line and the defense in front of you, get back off onside. He wasn't able to do that.
Obviously, if the scoreline holds, Rio Grande Valley would take home the 3 points. Rio Grande Valley has never beaten Sacramento Republic in 5 tries. Sacramento with 3 wins and also 2 draws. A year ago, these teams met 3 times. The most lopsided scoreline happening in Sacramento. The Republic won by 6 goals to 2 at Papa Murphy's Park. Very much looking to change their fortunes as Bijev with a nice ball for Partain. This is a decent bit of possession here. Aleman, Moffat under pressure, flicks it back for Aleman. Still on for Sacramento, but Kai Green stepping up to win it. And now an opportunity just might be on here through Zal Divad. Nice step over there to maintain possession. James try and send it long, and Seiler winning in the air. And back to his goalkeeper, Cohen.
Yeah, Aleman, lots of sidewards movement by Sacramento, but nothing going forward. I thought Moffat actually had good position when he got the pass from Aleman to actually turn toward goal and either get a shot or find one of his teammates making a run into the area. If you move sideways, it makes it easy to defend. So someone has got to burst forward for for Sacramento.
Espino's touch was too heavy, and counter-attacking opportunity was on, and Botano there on that far side going down under the duress of the challenge. Would be a free kick.
Well, Shannon Gomez just bailed out RGV there, Rio Grande Valley, because Zaldivar basically passed it into the back of Montaño. Montaño wasn't expecting it. And Gomez bailing him out. Is the RGV able to maintain possession? Tordos able to maintain possession.
Derek Luke with a nice ball, but a bit too much weight on it for Aldo Quintanilla. Joins from Liga MX side, Querétaro. Also grew up in the Santos Laguna system. History in Mexico. Place where the ownership team is trying to get some Mexican influence, both in terms of players on the field and perhaps getting some Mexican teams into play. The next step for the club, they hosted Houston Dash, a couple of Liga MX sides as well. The area, 85% Hispanic.
And in the Rio Grande Valley fan base area?
Yeah. We are just about 20 miles north of the Mexican border from this stadium, so very much in Hispanic influences. Corti came racing off his line, but it was actually the defender Ontiveros who got his head to it. And it left Corti in no man's land. Thankfully, no Republic players to pounce there from a Rio Grande Valley point of view.
I wonder what percentage of that is Mexican, because there are a lot of Central Americans, at least Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Panama as well. So I wonder what percentage are Mexican. But the Liga MX, and no disrespect to MLS, but Liga MX is the #1 league in CONCACAF. They've won the most CONCACAF Champions League and things like that. So if you can get a little bit of that fan base to come to your games and have a couple of those teams come for friendlies, it certainly will help.
Quintanilla. For Botano, here's the Colombian. The return for Quintanilla, nice flick there, sent him towards the byline as the shot cross shot is sent in, but Cohen behind it.
Quintanilla putting on a little bit of a show with that footwork, and it was effective. He was able to get himself into space, give him room to send in that cross, and it's good position by Cohen at the near post to cut out the angle.
As he marauding run there from Iwasa, cut out briefly there by Donovan. Here's Villian Bijev. Will cut towards the byline, and his touch a bit too heavy as the ball had just gone out of play before his cross could come in.
Yeah, and just past the hour mark, the first time we mentioned Bijev in terms of an attacking presence. Quintanilla there. And I think that was actually a shot on frame here by Quintanilla, because it looked like Garza was coming in late. So Quintanilla going toward goal, but as we mentioned, Cohen well positioned, comfortable save in the near post. But back to Bijev. We see Bijev now floating on the left side there. First time, I think, all match we've seen him have a chance to dribble one-on-one on a defender with a little bit of space. And even though that ball went over the line, and leading to a goal kick, it still looked like something dangerous that Sacramento could take advantage of.
I mentioned earlier how Liga MX is not only the best league in CONCACAF, in terms of in the United States from a television point of view, it's the most watched league anywhere on national television, even ahead of MLS or the Premier League.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of things that American soccer leagues can learn from Liga MX in terms of how they develop players. I mean, a good chunk of the Mexican national team plays in Liga MX, so it's a very good league, entertaining league, and especially the playoffs. The playoffs of Liga MX are amazing.
Here's Moffitt. Back out again wide, given away by Iwasa, whose position has certainly drifted. Very much kind of a mercurial formation as ball is given away for the corner kick there by Botano there. An opportunity for Sacramento on the set piece. We mentioned earlier that Rio Grande Valley did give away their only goal this season on a corner, so certainly try and have their mind sharp here.
It's important everyone marks well.
So Aleman will send in a decent ball, perhaps a bit too heavy and over the head of everyone and out for the throw.
And looked like, I think Mitchell Tainer was making a run to the far post, maybe expecting that service to curve a little bit. It was an in-swinger. Didn't quite swing in the way I'm sure Aleman wanted it, and Tainter appeared to be the man, the intended target for that service on the corner.
Nice work there as Garza was trying to carry on his way, and it's still on for Victor Garza. He'll head into the penalty area if he can just pick out the right ball. Tries to send it in towards Quintanilla, but Partain recovering well, and it'll be a corner.
Oh, that was a sliding challenge that was missed by Seiler. And that allowed Garza to just sail into the back line there, sailing to the defense. Seiler taking a risk. If you slide and you miss, you give up all that space in the back. Seiler has to stay on his feet, do what he can to keep Garza in front of him, or at least contain Garza so that he can make life difficult, not allow him to get in that cross. But Seiler, when you commit to the ground like that and you don't win the ball, you put your defense in a precarious position.
To be swung in by Wharton on the back post. See there, free, I believe, was Donovan. It's actually a counter-attacking opportunity on here for Sacramento, but well cut out there by Zaldivad, along with Quintanilla, who's done a fair bit of work despite occupying that number 9 position. Has been all over. He's done that work required of a center forward.
Yeah, but back to that corner kick, you're right. It looked like Donovan had great position with his body to, if that ball gets to him.
Nice ball there for Aleman to Bijev, but left a bit too much of it there for Kai Green, who plays it out of play off of Bijev and out for the throw.
Yeah, but you're right. Donovan had the position on the defender. That ball is coming to him. I believe James, excuse me, gets the header onto it. Not the cleanest of headers, but if it's able to get to Donovan, he can chest it down or head it and then get a shot on frame. So that might be something that Gerson Echeverri watches or sees for next time. Try to set up the same play, try to get it to Donovan, see if he can once again get the right positioning on the marker, on his marker.
1-2 there between Moffitt and Bijev. It's Iwasa though into the area. Challenge comes in from Ontiveros. We saw that similar kind of challenge, earned him a yellow in the first half, but able to at least kind of back out just in the end as Botano tries to spray the ball for Quintanilla to chase, but started out of play and then came back in, throwing for Sacramento.
And Sacramento, they look so much more dangerous when Bijev is out wide. You can see, it appears to me that Bijev, one-on-one, has much more space to operate. Appears to be even more confident on the ball in the middle. With all those bodies clogging up the space, he doesn't have that freedom, that space to move and go after a player one-on-one, get past them. But now that he's on the left side, he's had more touches. Sacramento holding on to possession a little more, look a little more dangerous in attack.
Step overs there from Espino. And not only would Rio Grande Valley like the second goal just to kind of seal this one out, but they need to get their attack going a little bit. We're second worst in the Western Conference a year ago, just scored 37 times in 32 regular season games a year ago en route to missing the playoffs. Is in acres of space here is Victor Garza. If James can just find him, he does. Into the penalty area. Victor Garza again. Can he just pick the right ball out? It's straight at Josh Cohen. A couple of opportunities there for Garza to provide that service, and those chances just going begging.
Yeah, it was well done by James to get out wide to Garza, but James has to continue a hard run into the penalty area to attract defenders, and maybe those defenders, especially if we run toward the near post, you attract the defenders. That could give Quintanilla a little more room to operate, give Garza another option to make a pass towards. So it was well done by James to send it out wide to Garza, but he's got to continue his run into the area to add more bodies and give Garza more options to pick out for a goal-scoring chance and possibly a second goal for Rio Grande Valley.
Nice ball there from Mitchell Tainter. On this left-hand side is Iwasa. Going to play it to Adam Moffitt, who'll have a shot. No, he's drifting wide.
Yeah, well, Rio Grande Valley once again getting numbers back. They've been very rarely, I don't think if ever, have been outnumbered in the back defensively. Every time Sacramento gets the ball going forward, they were able to get numbers back and limit the spaces that Sacramento have been able to attack. And Cameron Iwasa has been very quiet in this second half.
Nico Corti will boot the goal kick. National championship winning goalkeeper at Stanford a year ago. As Partain gets his head to it, but straight for Garza. Here's Derek Luke coming forward to the feet of Quintanilla. Luke working very well in tight spaces. Can he play the right ball in? Tried it low through, came off of Moffitt in the end. Espino doing well to play out. Aleman, can he just carry on his way? Jorginho James able to win it off him, finally gets control of it. Now the physical challenge coming in from Aleman, and Marco Vega providing the free kick to Rio Grande Valley. See his frustration.
If the number 10, one of your best attacking players, is being frustrated, that means the holding midfielder, in this case Jorginho James, is doing a very good job and psychologically taking Aleman out the game.
A bit too much on that one for Quintanilla. It'll be out for the goal kick.
I think, and we've seen this time and time again in this matchup, it seems like anytime either team wants to play a ball long, they just have not been accurate with the passes. It's better if they just keep the ball on the ground, keep it short, keep it simple, because every time we've seen a long ball, it just has not worked out for either squad.
Partain. We'll have a change coming up in just a matter of moments. Zach Wright being prepared to come on. Started on that right-hand side the opening weekend. Here's William Bijev for Sacramento on this left-hand side. On the bench tonight for Sacramento Republic is Mark McIntosh. You saw him warming up earlier. One of 5 academy products signed to amateur contracts will maintain their eligibility to play college soccer, but can play with Sacramento for now. As there you do see Wright coming on. Started that opening game, a physical presence on that right-hand side. Gerson Echeverry describing kind of the differences between Botano and Wright, both able to play physically in the air, but Wright more of a powerful player, and Botano has that nice right boot to send it across. So we'll see what Wright can provide here as a sub here in these final 20 minutes.
Yep, fresh legs down the right side, give a little more activity. Montano had a couple of opportunities, but you just see very little influences in this second half, especially the last 5 or 10 minutes. So bring on a fresh pair of legs. It's a like-for-like switch. See if they could generate some goal-scoring opportunities coming from the right side.
Cut out there by Kai Green.
And it looks like...
Oh, it is available there in the air for Aleman to try to take it off the chest. I'm not sure he was anticipating it as it went through Ontiveros, and Corti able to claim.
It's the first time in this match we've seen a long ball that actually connected and was met with the intent it was supposed to be. Looks like Ontiveros may be reading the flight of the ball incorrectly, and that ball sailed over him, and Aleman, as you mentioned, Chris, maybe wasn't expecting it, so he couldn't control it the way he wanted to. That's still that was a good long ball over the top that found its target.
Rio Grande Valley, certainly with the fresher legs of these two squads, haven't played since the opening Friday of the season, so 15 days on, getting into action in their second game. We've seen teams in USL already play as many as 4 games, including Orange County, who are in action in midweek. It's a nice ball there from Ganaza to play in right. Here is Zach Wright towards the area. He'll have a shot! And it whisks wide of Josh Cohen's goal.
Good first action for Zach Wright. As now we get a substitution here for Sacramento.
It'll be Christian Isley who will come on, and it seems like Adam Moffat will come off. No, excuse me, it's actually a center back, Cole Seiler. So perhaps moving to 3 at the back here.
This is a bold.
Is Sacramento very much chasing that victory?
Yeah, this is a bold, brave substitution by Simon Elliott.
It's actually Hall who drifts into that center back position vacated by Seiler. So all kind of attacking-ish midfielders as Aleman tries to drift forward, just tugged at from behind by Jorginho James. It goes into the book. Easy one there for Marco Vega.
And Jorginho James has been pushing around Aleman a little bit, getting physical with him. And he finally picked up a yellow card. He hadn't been fouling Aleman, but there's definitely been some physical play between the two last couple of minutes. He's finally earning the yellow card.
Just the one throw of the dice left for Simon Elliott and Sacramento Republic. As Aleman will swing in the free kick on the penalty spot. Taking it off the chest awkwardly there was Wright, but no one there to pounce. Shannon Gomez.
Yeah, Rio Grande Valley with that substitution. They've actually looked more like a 4-2-3-1 in their formation with James and Wharton. That double pivot.
Opportunity for Bijev trying to get around Green, and it's a penalty. Instantly given there against Kai Green. Villian Bijev getting the better of the Rio Grande Valley right back, and it might just be a penalty to equalize for Sacramento after Rio Grande Valley converted their opening goal on a penalty.
And what did we say, Chris? After we saw Bijev move out to the left, he's been much more dangerous in attack for Sacramento. Don't know, that one is iffy right there. It didn't look like it to me. Oh no, that's
a dive.
That's a dive. Yes, that's a clear dive. It looks like Green's left leg is swooping to tackle the ball, but he gets caught in the turf, and then Bijev goes down. Oh, that is super lucky for Sacramento. That is clearly not a penalty. Probably even a yellow card dive for Bijev. But Bijev down the left side has looked much more dangerous for Sacramento.
Going to be Aleman to take the penalty. Scored the opening goal of the season for Sacramento Republic. Can he make it 2? And it's saved! Nico Corti waving his finger and saying, ball don't lie.
Justice, if you are a Rio Grande Valley fan, justice is served. It was a dive by Bijev clearly, and then Aleman, not the best penalty, but Corti guessing the right way. And it's well done. Rio Grande Valley fans are saying, you know what, you dive, that's what happens to you. Justice is served for Rio Grande Valley.
Now, Sacramento Republic fans watching might be saying that justice was not served for the opening penalty.
Yeah.
As Quintanilla might have gone down a bit easily to win that one, but referee is given to Rio Grande Valley converted there. Sacramento did not. So it remains 1-0 to the hosts.
The difference between the two penalties was that Quintanilla, there was contact on Quintanilla. Now, whether it was enough for him to go down, that's a different issue. I didn't think it was a penalty either, two shoulder to shoulder. But Quintanilla got himself in the position to force Seiler to make the contact, and that's why the penalty was given.
And James will actually try the long distance effort. He goes smacking into that bar in behind the goal.
And Jorginho James, powerful in the midfield, taking his opportunity. But Rio Grande Valley now, you see, it looks like James and Wharton are the two holding midfielders. Quintanilla, the center forward. Zaldivar on the left, Wright on the right. And then you have...
Easy enough.
Easy enough, yeah. And then you have Victor Garza is in behind Quintanilla in that quote-unquote number 10 role. So that's what it looks like for Rio Grande Valley in terms of the formation that they're playing with now.
As Partain even a little bit surprised to win that throw.
But let's see if they go back to Bijev on the left side of the attack.
Given away by Partain. Here's Quintanilla into the penalty area. Can he find the shooting opportunity? Leaves it for James. He'll have a shot!
Oh!
Jorginho James has had a few attempts, but that one finds the back of the net. And it might just find 3 points for Rio Grande Valley FC Toros. It's 2-0 to the hosts.
The Jamaican is a bad man. A bad man with a long-range effort. And I thought at first he should have passed it out wide. I thought there was a player out wide on the right. It looked like Wright. Wright is wide open on the right, but James has the space, and he blasts it with the right foot. It's a golazo. Jorginho James. He's Jamaican, but that first name is Brazilian, and he struck it like a skillful Brazilian there. Great goal by Jorginho James.
I was even going to remark on the Brazilian flair he's been putting on a player from Jamaica. He very much earned it with that well-taken effort from about 20 yards out to give Rio Grande Valley the 2-0 lead. A final change, and it's another attacking change with Wilson Nisha coming on for Luis Espino. So there's the final throw of the dice from Simon Elliott. But Sacramento Republic very much up against it here in the final 10 minutes. As it will be a free kick, though, for the visitors.
What a great strike by James. And once again, you have to wonder where the holding midfielders are for Sacramento.
As the header comes in, and it's gone in! The opportunity caught Rio Grande Valley flat-footed. And Sacramento Republic very quickly has pulled one back. It's 2-1 at FEB Park.
Oh, this second half is getting very, very interesting. It's the perfect response for Sacramento. They've just given up a goal, and just seconds later, less than a minute later, they respond. Oh, these last 10 minutes are going to be fun.
And at HEB Park, it's now 2-1. Now Rio Grande Valley might have thought they were on their way to 3 points, and now they're going to have to hold on to their 1-goal advantage and perhaps chase the third.
Well, they often say the best time to strike back at a team is when they've just scored, because they're still kind of feeling the euphoria of that goal, and so their minds might not be refocused yet on defending and doing what they have to do to win the game. So sometimes it's the best way to catch them when they're still kind of euphoric from scoring the goal, and it looks like that's what Sacramento did.
Now 2-1 in favor of Rio Grande Valley. Celebrations cut short as well. Goal coming in the 79th minute. And Sacramento pulling one back in the 81st. As here is Zach Wright on his way, using a bit of that power and that pace. Gomez forced to just give away the throw.
I think that goal even surprised Nico Corti in goal for Rio Grande Valley.
Let's take another look at the attempt. It was a free kick taken short there by Moffitt, and it was Iwasa who flicked it onto that back post, and it goes all the way through. Didn't come off another white and gray shirt, so Cameron Iwasa gets his second goal of the campaign.
Cameron Iwasa did a great job there. Once again, a lot of times goals are scored not so much off of skill, but positioning, and able to get in the right position
As you see there, a change being prepared there by Jerson Echeverry. It's Pablo Aguilar who was getting ready to come on. Header one there by Christian Isley. Here's Iwasa, playing more like his natural position with Isley coming on. Ball is played to Isley, but a nice step there from Derek Luke to win possession. Now counter-attacking opportunity on here for Zaldivar. He'll play it for right. 1v1 against Gomez. Will cut inside. And now acres of space here for Rio Grande Valley. Wharton for James. George, you were frustrated at the lack of Rio Grande Valley taking advantage of that option down that left-hand side.
Yes, the left-hand side was just blazing down. I believe it was Garza wide open down the left side. Wharton, he's got to, you know, the proverbial head on a swivel. The great midfielders, Xavi, Pirlo, and I'm not trying to say Wharton should be up there, but you can learn a lesson from them. Keep your head on a swivel. You have to know where your players, your teammates are moving all the time. Garza was wide open down the left side. If Wharton just makes the turn of the head, looks around, he could play that pass to Garza, and who knows, they can be in great position for a third goal.
Sometimes you got to know where your next pass is before even receiving it.
Exactly.
Here's Bijev charging forward, now on the edge of the area. We'll leave it here for Moffat. Long distance attempt. Well over Nico Corti's goal. We'll have the change now. Rio Grande Valley's Pablo Aguilar will come on for Matias Zaldivar. So there is Jerson Echeverry's second change. Now the Aguilar, the goal scorer from a week ago.
Let's see who. Zaldivar was out wide on the left for the majority of his match. So let's see where Aguilar fits in.
Aguilar kind of played alongside Wharton in kind of a midfield too. So maybe we'll see if they move to kind of a 4-3-3 shape.
Maybe
Aguilar coming on.
See if Garza moves out wide to the left. And looks like he's going to slide in right in behind Quintanilla.
See there, the supporters group trying to get the fans going with some music. Dial up the noise here for the home side who are trying to seal 3 points.
I always admire those guys who can play the trumpet. Like I saw the trumpet player there.
With the mask on?
Yeah, with the mask on.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I can't even play the kazoo or whatever it's called.
As Nico Corti claims, with 5 minutes to play in the 90. And an incident-filled second half. We've had 2 penalties, one of them missed. Rio Grande Valley going 2-0 up, looking on their way to a victory, and then off a quickly taken free kick, Sacramento Republic have pulled one back to make this an interesting finale. As Garza tried to play it to the feet of Quintanilla, cut out there by Sacramento.
Man, these last 5 minutes, the team that is the most composed will come out and win this game. I know that sounds crazy because 5 minutes you want to press and push forward and attack, but you have to do that with composure, with the right skill, right timing. You almost have to play the last 5 minutes the way you did the first 5 or 10 minutes in terms of the composure, the mentality. Sacramento's only down a goal. 2 goals in 5 minutes is not unusual.
And you do see both Moffat and Jeremy Hull venturing forward, so this is a full-fledged attack from Sacramento. Nice turn there by Partain. He'll send the left-footed cross in. Bijev is there on the back post, but so is Zach Wright, who heads away for the corner.
And good job by Wright there. He's a right winger, and he's dropping back defensively. He understands that right now preserving the lead is more important than extending it.
It'll be Bijev to swing in the corner. Arriving there was Tainter, but just flew over his head a bit. It did seem like Tainter was unmarked goal side outside the 6-yard area.
Yeah, I think if the pass is a little less heavy, if it floats toward the middle, right in the middle of the 6 there, Tainter would have had a free header on frame there. I think that's the second time we've seen Tainter unmarked in the area. There was a corner kick a few minutes earlier that floated toward the back post that was once again just too high, and Tainter was right there to finish it, but the service just wasn't quite right.
Moffat. And the substitute, Nishaw. Here's the Englishman. Tries to play the low cross in. Montivero's going to have to deal with it and does. It might just send Rio Grande Valley away, but Quintanilla watches that ball, goes out of play. The referee will stop play for the final change. Aldo Quintanilla, who's just right there by the fourth official, will come off, and coming on is the number 22, Jordan Jones. So the final change there, it's attacker for attacker, and here is Jones straight into the attack. Thought he had an orange shirt there with him, and it turns out Aguilar was behind him, so his opportunity just goes begging at the start of this spell in the team.
Looks like Jordan Jones, taller, bigger player, more of a target, more of someone that can win the ball in the air. So that also not only for crosses, but also defensively, as Sacramento get close to goal, maybe want to send in long balls, send in aerial balls on corners and set pieces. Jones can help them out defensively there.
It's Partain trying to find the feet of, look like Iwasa there on the edge of the area. Instead, it's given away by Rio Grande Valley, and a decent opportunity for Sacramento to go forward. Jordan Jones, his first professional contract, was drafted by LAFC in the MLS Super Draft, but did not agree to terms. So, making his way to the Valley for his first professional opportunity to play college soccer at Oregon State. Shannon Gomez.
And mentioned LAFC. That was a great game today.
A brilliant El Tráfico.
El Tráfico. That's got to be the best nickname for a city derby.
As Nisha is just outside of the penalty area. Partain will swing the cross in. He watched it with a lovely flick for Bijev, who hits it first time, but Donovan alert to it. That was a nice little bit of skill there. Here's Wright, trying to take on the entire Republic defense and cut out. Here's Aleman. And Nisha. Now Hayden Partain, can he find the right ball in? It's towards the area, cut up by Jorginho James, but only as far as Nisha. Still on for Sacramento. Aleman spinning his way around defenders and finally cut out there by Jorginho James, who's been brilliant in the tackle tonight. Here's Garza. And he's just going to send it in the direction of that corner flag. Cut out, though, by Mitchell Tainer. Hall. And Nisha. Another good challenge, that time from Todd Wharton. Those two holding midfielders doing that work. As Garza just sending it as far forward as possible. We're being told that there'll be a minimum of 4 minutes to be added on. There is confirmation. 4 minutes to be added on.
Georgia.
At HEB Park as Rio Grande Valley tries to see out their first victory of the season. It'll be a first loss for Sacramento as well. Most likely will end their unbeaten run to the season.
Yep, and in these moments, that's when you need your holding midfielders, Wharton and Jorginho Jones, or James, I should say, to be extra effective, because you don't want anything up the middle. Anything out wide, obviously the holding midfielders can't do too much about, but they can slow down anything up the middle.
So Tainer tries to go route one. It's taken down off the chest in the area by Isley, but no one there around him. Here's Gomez as the numbers are flying forward here for Sacramento. Here's William Bijev into the area, spins, plays it out wide here for Moffitt. See the white shirts to aim at in the area as the ball is sent long, cut out by Garza. And Simon Elliott, the Sacramento manager, scrambling with his notebook, trying to get it back to his right back Partain as quickly as possible. Here's Partain again. Nice ball into the channel for Nisha. A little less than 3 minutes to play. Gomez. Thought he might shoot. Instead, placed it on wide here for Adam Moffitt. He'll send the cross in. It's dangerous, and it's an own goal. And from 2-0 down, Sacramento Republic have equalized. In the dying embers of this one, an awkward bounce off a brilliant ball sent in. And it's an own goal. Adam Moffitt with the cross, and turned in by Connor Donovan to make this 2-2.
Heartbreaking for Rio Grande Valley. Connor Donovan made the right play in terms of attacking the ball, but just body positioning was just a little bit off. Instead of getting in front of the ball, using his whole body, puts his leg up to try to keep it out, and he puts it over the line into the back of his own net. That is heartbreaking for Rio Grande Valley, who really did deserve to win this match.
Throwing caution to the wind has paid dividends for Simon Elliott. Nothing but attacking changes, taking off a center back. Going to the 3, and it's paid dividends. Quickly taking free kick, and then that corner swung in as Jordan Jones trying to win in the area, but will go out for the goal kick as now Rio Grande Valley try to desperately regain their advantage.
But that's why in those late game situations, you just say, send the ball into the area, send it into the area. Because of goals and situations like that, you never know what can happen. So if you're down a goal and you're searching for that equalizer, send it in the area, send it in. You never know what can happen. And that's what happened for Rio Grande Valley, the own goal.
You know, Connor Donovan will feel pretty sick about that as the ball is sent for Bijev to play, and might just Sacramento Republic get 3 points. Kai Green doing well to cut it out. Still some time left here for Sacramento to chase a winner. Iwasa in the tackle, and it was a bit too heavy. And now Rio Grande Valley will try and play quickly.
And the rough part is for Donovan is that he was very quiet in this match, which means he was having a good game. And then unfortunately that happened to him.
Garza will try and switch here for Zach Wright. Nice job to make the defender Gomez towards the byline. The sliding challenge comes in and won well there by Adam Moffat. When will Marco Antonio Vega put whistle to lips? There it is. Sacramento Republic have come back from 2-0 down and will very much feel like tonight they've gained a point, and Rio Grande Valley tonight will very much feel like they've lost 2. Rio Grande Valley 2, Sacramento Republic 2. Final thoughts, George Metellus.
Yeah, poor Connor Donovan. He had a great game. Unfortunately, the own goal going against him. And Rio Grande Valley, as you mentioned, Chris, this feels like a loss for them because they were up 2-0 with about 10 minutes left in this game.
Now have taken 2 draws from 2 to start this season. Rio Grande Valley with a 1-1 draw against St. Louis to open the campaign. And tonight, after picking up the first 2 goals of this game through Wharton and Jorginho James, have seen their lead erased by Iwasa and Donovan. As we take a look at the full-time highlights, best chance of the first half will fall to the feet of Cameron Iwasa, whose shot was blazed over the bar. Not too much activity in the first half, but this would be the best opportunity.
Yeah, it's well done by Aleman to link up with Iwasa. Iwasa letting the ball run so that he can get a dangerous opportunity on goal. Iwasa is clearly Sacramento's best attacking player. And then the penalty here, and there's contact, but the difference is Quintanilla is able to get in between the ball and the defender, Cole Seiler, and then Wharton makes no mistake, they're finishing it. No dancing, no playing around, just steps up, blasts it into the lower left corner, or the right corner of Corti, of Cohen, I should say.
And here would be 2-0, or rather first we'd have a cross there from Quintanilla. A couple of decent opportunities created by him there. You see that nice little bit of skill towards the byline. And now here would be the penalty for Sacramento Republic. Bijev going down under not too much contact from Kai Green, but Kevin Aleman's effort saved by Nicolas Corti.
Yeah, well, I said it when it happened. Justice was served because that was clearly not a penalty. A clear dive by Bijev. And then an opportunity here. This is the golazo from Jorginho James. Blasts it into that lower corner. Quintanilla sucking up the defense. Look at 3 players around Quintanilla. That allowed the space for Jorginho James to take that shot. And you figured at this point that was going to be the 3 points for Rio Grande Valley. They were up 2-0, but Sacramento showing great heart and determination to come back.
And Moffat's service would provide both goals. You see there the clipped effort turned in by Iwasa, catching Rio Grande Valley flat-footed. Now another cross, dangerous for Connor Donovan. He turns it into his own net.
Yep, and what happened here, Moffat sends in the service, but Iwasa is lurking around Donovan. Maybe that makes Donovan nervous. Look, you see he looks away to point, and that little hesitation maybe gets him off of his position. He has to put his leg up in an awkward angle, and he goes past Corti. That little look away to point at someone else might have thrown him off just a little bit.
And because of the way that the second half changed with Rio Grande Valley defending their lead, Sacramento would win the possession battle.
Yep.
Rio Grande Valley with more shots, though, 13-8.
Yep, and it's disappointing for Rio Grande Valley because they really did deserve the win. 2 goals in the second half, just couldn't finish the game off.
There were plenty of fireworks in this second half after a 0-0 opening 45 minutes. 2 penalties won, 2 goals for either side, but it came in dramatic fashion. Sacramento Republic coming from 2-0 down to draw this one 2-2. 7 points from their opening available 9. A second draw of the campaign for Rio Grande Valley. Iwasan Donovan providing the goals for Sacramento Republic. Donovan an own goal to make this 2-2 a final here from Rio Grande Valley. That'll do it for us. For our great USO crew, I'm Chris Whittingham alongside George Metellus. Once again, your score, Rio Grande Valley 2, Sacramento Republic 2.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.